All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Final Four, but because it's only 4 teams to talk about, it's a short video, I have some alternate jerseys to talk about as well. Let's get saucing. Okay, so as I just mentioned, it is the Final Four. We've made it. We have Montreal, Kings of the North, Vegas, Kings of the West, Tampa Bay Lightning, Kings of the Central, and the New York Islanders, Kings of the East. It'd be weird if the Kings made it in the playoffs. I'd say the Kings are the Kings of the West. Bad joke. Anyway, so moving on. My name is Matt. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of The Sauce. We're going to be talking about the Final Four teams, as I just mentioned over and over again, as well as my top 10 alternate jerseys in the NHL. Because I would not be able to fill a video with just talking about these 4. I could, but it'd be a lot of statistics and I would lose some of the newer hockey fans. So yeah, we're going to go and do that. So not every team has an alternate jersey. I just want to start off with that. But of those teams that do have an alternate jersey, I wanted to go off of, 2020/2021 season. So any alternate jerseys, I wanted to rank my favorites 1 through 10. I'll throw some pictures over here somewhere. But so before I do that, or I guess, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. Number 10. So number 10 alternate jersey, the Anaheim Ducks. I love how they have the old school logo. I like how they use their new color scheme, the orange, this gold and black and white. But I mean, it's pretty simple. The main reason it's on this list is the nostalgia factor. Plus, I do like how this old look looks in the new Ducks jerseys. So that's number 10. Let's talk some of the top 4. Should have said Final Four, but anyway, you get the point. So in the Final Four, they're not calling it conference finals, they're calling it the semifinals, which I understand because there's 3 Eastern teams and 1 Western team. So it gets a little complicated. No worries. So right now, both of these series are actually tied at 1 game apiece. Montreal just won last night in a thriller, 3-2 in regulation. They had a 3-0 lead on the Vegas Golden Knights, but Vegas was able to storm back and just keep the game really, really tight. So Montreal gets a win and they force at least a Game 5 back in Vegas. So that's interesting there. The first game between these 2 clubs, Vegas pretty much coasted most of the game. It was a 4-1 win by Vegas. And honestly, I'm just happy that Montreal at least got 1, make it competitive. Both of these series should be, well, everyone hopes they're a longer series, more hockey to watch, just more competition, and just makes it more fun. So that's this series thus far in a nutshell. So let's move on to my next jersey ranking. So number 9, I have the St. Louis Blues. I love this retro throwback. It's not the reverse retro, but it is a retro throwback, and I love this powder blue and yellow the St. Louis Blues have. This color scheme is great. The jersey itself is simple. It's a nod to the old jerseys they used to have. All in all, I like this jersey. Makes my top 10 ranking, so obviously I like the jersey. But yeah, not much more I can say there. Let's stick with this and move to number 8. So number 8, I have the new Washington Capitals jerseys. I love the simplicity in this. I love the dark blue. I love the W in the center pays homage to what was it, Stadium Series a couple years back. It's like a red jersey versus a blue jersey, and it has a W in the middle with 3 stars on top, and I liked that, but I like this as well. It's bold. I love the bold striping on the shoulders, the red striping on the bottom. There's not much I would change about this jersey. Again, I like that it's simple, but it just has this, it has like a throwback feel, and I think for the most part you'll find that theme with some of these teams is just it has like an older feel to it, but others don't. They're more modernized. So that's number 9 and number 8. Let's talk some stats again, shall we? Okay, so Tampa Bay Lightning, New York Islanders, knotted at 1 apiece. I don't have an Islanders jersey, but I mean, you've seen this jersey before. Just try to wear some different colors here. So currently, Game 3 is ongoing. I actually have it playing in the corner on mute so I can see, and it looks like Tampa Bay Lightning's up 1-0. Yes, I'm not biased at all. I'm a fan. I have to be. So as I said, Game 3 is ongoing. They're playing in New York today. Don't know why that took me so long to get out. But, so how we got here basically. So kind of flipped. Tampa Bay lost Game 1 to the Islanders. The Islanders won that game. It was, what was it? It was 2-1, excuse me. How did I forget? It was 2-1, and Tampa just looked flat. They just did. They looked flat. They didn't score until the last, I want to say it was within the last 2 minutes. They finally scored, and they didn't look flat. They didn't look good. Islanders outplayed them. But again, some of the podcasts and stuff I listen to, if that's your loss and that's you getting outplayed and the score is only 2-1, that's not a bad loss. So that's kind of how I felt going into Game 2. And in Game 2, the Tampa Bay Lightning win that 4-2. So better performance by the Lightning. They tried to play the New York Islanders style, that physical style. Now the Islanders are, I think, a bigger bodied team. They're more stout defensively, and I've said that word a lot. And the Tampa Bay Lightning, a big concern is their defensemen weren't scoring. So in this one, the defensemen had the last two goals, or last two Tampa goals of the game, and the Islanders tried to come back and tie the game up, but no dice. So Tampa Islanders, they're tied 1-1, and right now that game's ongoing. Tampa's up 1-0, so we'll see where that goes. So that's just a little bit about the Final Four and the series thus far, what's going on. So let's go ahead and talk some more of the alternate jerseys, shall we? So number 7, I have the Colorado Avalanche. And yes, I think they have one of the best color schemes in the NHL. I love this alternate logo, and I just love the way the jersey looks all in all. It was really tough to have this one so low. Color schemes and just the way the jersey fits, the way it looks on ice, just really push the other ones ahead. All these alternate jerseys are great. I think there's very few alternate jerseys in the NHL that I don't like. So number 7 there, Colorado Avalanche. Let's move on. So number 6, I have the San Jose Sharks. Probably thus far the most simplistic jersey, but black jersey, teal blue, badass logo, all good things. I mean, there's really nothing to complain about here. The way it looks on the ice is awesome. I love a lot of the black alternate jerseys. You'll see one later on in this list, but I do love the all black alternate jerseys with a little bit of color thrown in there. Really looks great on the ice. It just looks intimidating. I really like the San Jose jersey. I love their 30th anniversary jersey, but it's not an alternate. It's an anniversary jersey. I mean, honorable mention, I guess. So yeah, there you go. All right, so we're at the halfway point. Number 5, number 4, a little difficult here. So a lot of back and forth. These two teams are actually both in the Central, and number 5 is Carolina. I love this black, red, gray jersey. I love it has the Carolina state flag. You can barely see it on one of the patches, and then the normal Hurricanes logo on the other, the Hurricane warning flag in the center. Black and red always are really good colors, it just pops. And I love the Hurricane warning flags around the bottom. They use these jerseys in the playoffs as their home jersey. They're popular jersey for Storm Surge and for Hurricane home games. I like this jersey a lot. And I'll tell you, if you look at my notes, they're scratched and arrows back and forth. I had a tough time deciding which I wanted above the other. Sometimes simplicity is key, and the devil's in the details. Those kind of goes hand in hand. It's like the smaller things make it more exciting, like the Sharks, for example, over Colorado. It's a black jersey with some teal, but I don't know, it pops more to me. So the Hurricanes jersey, although I do love it, I think the jersey that I have, or the jerseys I have ahead of it, I personally like better. I don't think you can go wrong with this one in your top 10, but move on to the next one. So at number 4, the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's simple, I know, almost too simple, but like I just mentioned with the Hurricanes, the devil's in the details. They have this silver to black gradient in the sleeves, and the logo, in the numbers, in the socks that they use for this uniform, which I get it doesn't count, it's just cool to add, in the pants, the bolt that they have on their pants, the nameplate, I love that gradient texture. Up close it just looks even cooler. So the whole thing behind it was when a bolt of lightning goes across the sky, it kind of fades in like pixels. So that's kind of their whole thing. And this is their Saturday night or blackout night or disrupt the night jersey. And I really like that concept. I like this alternate because it's so different. I've seen in years past other teams like in the 90s try to do gradients. Some were really bad, some were okay. Vancouver Canucks, perfect example. I grew up with those black, blue, and red gradient jerseys, and I liked those. Those were eye-catching to me when they changed to the blue and green. I wasn't a huge fan. That's just me, because the age of hockey that I grew up in. But again, Tampa Bay Lightning, I think this gradient works well. And again, it's those little details. A picture doesn't do it justice, because I hated it when I saw the picture, and then when I got up close and personal to one, I was like, this has to be my jersey collection eventually. And yeah, so that's number 4. We're in the top 3, but before the top 3, let's get into some more stats, shall we? Okay, so some stats for the final 4 teams. So point leader so far for the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I know we're in the top 4, so they've had more games, but I mean, looking at some of these, some of the players that have been eliminated were up there. You know, Nathan MacKinnon for the Colorado Avalanche was on a point streak. Some of the Boston Bruins players for face-offs and defensive stats. But, I mean, I'm really wanting to focus on the top 4 here. So, with the 4 teams left, the points leader is Nikita Kucherov of the Tampa Bay Lightning with 22 points. So, the goal leader, also from the Tampa Bay Lightning, is Braden Point with 8 goals. And the assist leader, again from the Tampa Bay Lightning, Nikita Kucherov with 17 points. So Tampa Bay Lightning looking good in the point department. They have a high-octane offense. They had a crazy series with Florida, which helped kind of bump those numbers up because that was just a high-scoring offensive series. I'm trying to think. New York Islanders are always pretty tight offensively, so it's hard to compare. Vegas is up there points-wise, goal-wise. They had some high-scoring games and series. Montreal's were all pretty close for the most part. Not a lot of games where I don't think they had above 4 goals, so it was pretty tightly contested. So that kind of the matchups that kind of played into that. But anyway, so another personal stat I want to talk about is the face-off percentage. Casey Cizikas of the New York Islanders, 60.68, just gonna round up, 61%. Of his face-offs, this guy wins. That's a huge stat. That's amazing. And I think he's on the 3rd line. Islanders fans, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think he's on the 3rd line. And again, I think the Islanders are one of the deepest, well-rounded teams in the league. I mean, similar to Lightning, but the Islanders, you can roll any line against any opponent's line. You can roll the 4th Islanders line against the Tampa Lightning's top line, and they do a good job. It's an amazing team. They're not the most exciting, they're not the most flashy, but Jean-Gabriel Pageau has high face-off percentage as well, but we're not talking about him, just more compliments to the Islanders. That face-off percentage that Cizikas has is stupid. 61%? Amazing. But now let's get into the tendies of the net, the goaltenders. All right, so the goals against average leader with 1.92 goals against, Vegas is Marc-Andre Fleury. So Flowers doing fantastic in net for the Knights, and he's having a heck of a season, heck of a playoff, so I don't know, he may win the Vezina this year, we'll see. But 1.92, that's really good. So goals against average goes to Ilya Sorokin of the New York Islanders with a 9.36. So save percentage there, fantastic. That that goaltending tandem of Varlamov and Sorokin pretty much lights out. And then the last goaltending stat is shutouts. Andrei Vasilevsky of the Tampa Bay Lightning with 2. So honestly, these last 4 goalies, or in this case, goaltending tandem, are amazing. Fleury, Vasilevsky, Carey Price, who's, I don't know, he's been a little bit better, but he's been pretty good. And then arguably one of the best goaltenders to ever play, and Varlamov and Sorokin. I like referring them to their tandem, but those are the stats. Let's finish out this top 10, shall we? All right, so let's go ahead and get back into my top 10 favorite alternate jerseys in the league. So at number 3, the Arizona Coyotes Kachina jersey. I love this jersey. I know I've said that before. And this alternate, it may not be the Space Coyote, the purple jersey that they use for their reverse retro, but this Kachina jersey, I don't know what it is. This style. I just like the style of the jersey. I love the details in the sleeves. I like the details in the towards the bottom of their jersey, the striping, like that pattern, and that whatever you want to call it, ugly coyote, space coyote, whatever the hell in the middle. There's something about it, I don't know. If they changed their color scheme to that purple that they had with the reverse retro, I would love it. If they changed this to their more current color scheme, I would also love it. I don't know, there's so many things that they could do with this style and bring it back. It's similar to the Carolina Hurricanes. The Coyotes started using this alternate more as their home jersey than their normal home jersey. The Carolina Hurricanes, instead of using their normal red jersey, they use that black and gray. So if both of those teams did that, I don't think anybody would mind. But Arizona Coyotes, top 3, love this Kachina jersey. Number 2. So number 2, for any of you out there who know me personally, you know green is my favorite color. The Dallas Stars is my number 2 jersey. And yes, I know, it's this neon green, and it's just, when I first saw it, I was like, this looks like something I would design in a video game when I first started getting into the NHL games. And yeah, you're right, it pretty much does. But black and neon green, as long as I can remember, were some of my favorite color combinations. And at first I was like, this is a bit too much. I didn't really like it, but similar to the Tampa Bay Lightning, the closer you get to it, the more intricate details you notice. And the reason why it's this neon green and black is because it's supposed to be reflective of Dallas's downtown skyline. So I like that subtle nod. And again, it mainly makes this list because the color combination for me, Dallas, I did have it up there as one of my top logos. I don't know, there's just something about this. It's just so bold. It looks great on the ice. That was my biggest thing. I wanted to see what these looked like with the numbers on them. And it's just such a wild jersey. At first, similar to the Lightning one, at first I hated it, but it just really grew on me. So number 2, but I mean, with these alternate jerseys, because it's not all 32 teams and not all teams have an alternate, number 1's pretty much a mystery. So number 2, Dallas Stars. I think I've said all I can say. Let's get into number 1. So number 1 is going to be the Columbus Blue Jackets. Their Cannon logo jersey. I love the off-white. It really truly gives it that vintage old school feel. I like the blue and white combination on the sleeves. It's kind of like the Winnipeg Jets home jersey, and I do like that dark blue, baby blue, white combination on their socks and their striping. So this kind of has that feel, but I love the way this jersey looks. I think this should be their home jersey. And again, I love everything about it. It's just enough detail with the shoulders, the striping, without it being too much. And even the numbers are great. There's just everything about this jersey I really enjoy. And mostly for that retro, it's not even retro, but it's just that vintage look to it because it's that off-white and it's just so different. I don't think any team has that kind of style unless it's their reverse retro or throwback or vintage winter classic, whatever. I don't think any other team does that except the Columbus Blue Jackets in their alternate jersey. So again, they make my number 1. I think that Canon logo was in my top logos video. I don't remember, probably is, but this jersey, man, it's my number one favorite alternate. So maybe this ranking surprised you, I don't know. But that's about it. So there you have it. Some stats, some jerseys. I finally was able to figure out how to get a top 10 jersey in there. So I think I've given my top reverse retro, my top home and away combo, my top logo, yeah, I think I've covered a lot of jersey and logo and other random NHL content along the way. So there's a little recap of the top 4. I think the Lightning are currently winning. I think it's 1-0 at the moment into the second period, but now I'm not sure. I wanna look at the game for a second. Hold on. Yep, 1-0. A little bit more than halfway through the first. So go Lightning. That's awesome. I didn't think you guys would make it, but you did, and I'm happy for it. But yeah, my bracket's busted. So that's enough rambling. There's your top 4 so far. Both series at 1-1. If I could give a glimpse into what I think's gonna come, I want to say that both these series go 6 games. I think the Lightning find their stride and they win in the same amount of games they did last year, 6 games. And I think the Vegas Golden Knights also win it in 6 games. So, I don't know. This is tough. Both of these teams that I don't have winning are tough competition. And that win from Montreal, I was expecting them to get one, but not in that fashion, to be up 3-0 through almost the full game. So that's amazing in itself. So who knows? But at this point, I'm saying 6-6, and that would be a battle for my wife and I. So that would be interesting. But anyway, I said I'm ending. I'm rambling. Let's end this video. So there you have it. That's going to be my top 4 discussion, semi-final discussion, and my top 10 alternate jerseys in the NHL. Thank you all so much for watching. Click like if you liked the video. Make sure you click that subscribe button. Click the notification bell to get notified of future videos. Make sure you check out our main channel, Slice of Life. We just had a couple of new food unboxings for the Yum Box. It was a lot of fun. Stay saucy. We'll see you next time. Go Bolts.